What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister, Dawn.
What's up? What's up?
My brother, Derek.
What's up, everybody?
And our friend, Dan.
What's up?
Why was that so delayed?
Man, that was delayed.
Is it? I thought, okay.
All right. But yes, this week we're going to be talking about Avengers Age of Ultron as we continue our rewatch of the MCU. So, before we get into that, we'll talk about the news, though. I've got just a bit of it. And I wanted to start with Tenet. We talked about it a little bit last week. And it looks like it is still slow in the box office. It just reached $250 million worldwide. I believe last week we said it had to reach, $400 million to break it even?
Yeah, I think that's what you said.
400 million. So it's nowhere near that. It's been, it's been 3 weeks by now, which is not good. Last weekend, it only made 4 million domestically. So movies in theaters, not the greatest at the moment.
Not nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. I heard like Universal cut a deal with AMC where they can shorten the window between the movies being in theater and then for it to get like an on-demand option. And I think it's usually something like, 45 days or something. And it got shortened to like 15. So Universal cut that deal. So I'm wondering why Warner Brothers didn't even do something like that since they were so determined for it to come out in theaters because like they're not making their money. So you would think they would be doing something else.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, I did hear about that deal, and basically it's to ensure they can get the on-demand money. I'm wondering if we're going to start seeing that more now. Like, are they just going to shorten the window? Because the window was already getting shorter, right?
Yeah.
Like DVDs and stuff and streaming on demand, it was coming out like, I don't know, 3 to 4 months after the movie hit theaters.
Yeah, unless it's a really good movie.
Yeah, so now I think it was 17 days. I don't know why that's in my head. I think it was 17 days.
It was 17 days, yeah.
Okay. So, like, that's interesting that they're doing that. And I'm just wondering if Tenet's going to affect this, like if more studios just going to do that.
I feel like they don't have a choice because Tenet is not making any money right now. And can we move on into Milan? Because I feel like this goes hand in hand about what Disney Plus did. Now, I honestly didn't think it was going to work, but they're thinking in the first weekend, Mulan grossed $35.5 million. You're like, okay, that's not a whole lot, but that is pure profit. And then here's the other thing.
True.
Disney Plus saw an increase of 68% of app downloads. So they gained an additional 68% users.
Right, because people signed up for Disney Plus so they can watch Mulan.
Yeah. And so there's no free trial, so that's a guaranteed $6.99 for Disney. But here's what they said. 29% of U.S. households with Disney Plus paid for Mulan.
29, wow.
So right now they're estimating that's probably about 9 million households. If that is true, that is $270 million. So,
oh my gosh.
Disney did it right. I was clowning them, but Disney did it right.
That's only 1 weekend, or no? How many weekends?
9 days.
9 days.
Yeah. So
it made more than Tenet did in 3 weeks in 9 days.
Yeah.
It looked on demand might be the way they go. If Mulan can make that much money, they might end up releasing Black Widow on demand.
They might, and I mean, I don't want to pay $30 for it, but I would, I guess, if I don't have a choice.
I told you, I don't care if it's dead in winter. I'm getting me a projector. We're going outside.
Yeah, you do that. Man, you do that.
Whatever. Winter be like 50 degrees anyway.
What state you live in?
Where you be at? Me in Northeast.
Last winter wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. Like we had those.
Last winter, but the winter before that was.
No, it wasn't. It was a couple of weeks that it was really cold.
Pretty bad.
I want to look up the average temperature because I'm pretty sure both years it was in the 40s. Average. I know it got really cold. It did get really cold, but average throughout the winter.
We're gonna look that up right now.
All right, yeah. You look that up. You.
Whatever.
Anyhow, but if it's proven that the studios, because we got to look at the people who wants to make money off a movie is the studio, right? Now, Dawn already mentioned that it's pure profit because you don't have to pay any side people to play the movie. And they ain't worried about it whether or not the theaters live. As long as people are watching their movies. Like, it don't matter.
And you figure it's that, and it's like the only way to watch Mulan is to have Disney Plus. Like, it's not like it's shared across platforms or nothing like that. So that's a lot of money considering a small group of people that can see it.
Yeah.
True.
You were right, Darren. Average temperature for 2019 was 53.
Yeah.
That's cold. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, but
Take that, Dawn.
That's still cold. You sit outside and watch a movie in 50-degree weather.
If it's Black Widow, I'll put on a coat and I will.
I mean, basically, that's
I don't get cold very easy.
Watch it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It's cold.
Okay. Because it's cold. It's 50. Look, you can watch a movie in 50 degrees. It's not that bad. Put on a jacket.
I need like 5 jackets.
Okay. While Dawn talks about that, we're going to move on to the next bit of news here. Ludwig Göransson, I guess that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure. He just got an Emmy for his music on the Mandalorian series. And that makes him 1 award away from an EGOT. So I thought that was an interesting bit of news. It's pretty cool. He just needs a Tony.
I don't know why I thought you was about to say Ludwig van Beethoven. I don't know why I thought you were right.
What?
Every time I hear Ludwig, I think Ludwig van Beethoven. That's what I thought you was about to say.
No.
That's the only Ludwig I know.
Beethoven is making music for movies now?
Hey, he could.
Wow. Man, from the grave.
Music is music, man.
That's. I mean, I guess we could use it in there. So, a rumor, but it appears Tom Hardy has been chosen for the next James Bond.
I hope that's not true.
I do too. I was hoping for Tom Hiddleston.
Be odd.
Yeah, like Hardy just doesn't. He doesn't have that swagger. Like, just no.
You got that rough neck.
Yeah.
Like he could be a villain.
Yeah, well, that's because he has an accent, right?
He could be a James Bond villain. Yeah.
I can see him as a James Bond villain. Now that you say that, I feel like that's perfect. So switch it around. Next James Bond movie, Tom Hardy villain, Tom Hiddleston James Bond. Let's make it happen, Sony. I know I don't have a lot of trust in you, but
Tom.
The Tom-Toms.
The
Tom-Toms.
It's gonna be their duo name, the Tom.
It's horrible. Next bit of news that I got. They did pick a She-Hulk for the She-Hulk series on Disney Plus. Looks like Tatiana Maslany is going to be it. I actually didn't see what she was in. Something Orphan Black, I think is the series she's in.
Orphan Black, and I believe, excuse me, she has a role in HBO's Perry Mason.
Okay.
I have not seen neither one of those. Say that again?
I've been meaning to watch that, Perry Mason.
Really?
You have HBO?
Yeah.
Oh, you got HBO money?
Home box office?
Well, it is free right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 more weeks before I cancel the trial.
And then sign up with a new email address. Like,
that's how you do it, man.
Now I am Derek Johnson at gmail.com.
You gotta put
man. Loophole
in it because that's very common.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, so check that out. Let us know what kind of actress she is. It seems like an okay pick. She was all right for the part.
Yeah, I know nothing about her, so I'm gonna say it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about
I don't know anything about it.
No prejudgments.
Not a thing.
I won't do
I'm
like I
just
did
saying
Natalie
okay.
Portman on this one.
We already
Please
know
don't,
about.
because you really like tore her apart.
Yeah.
God. Okay. Anyway, the Batman movie.
That's what we were like when you tearing her apart.
The Batman movie has resumed filming, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So after its brief delay due to some of the actors contracting COVID-19, it has resumed filming. I'm guessing it hasn't been 2 weeks, has it?
It has not.
Okay, so I'm guessing they're filming the scenes without Robert Pattinson.
Or he could have just tested negative.
Oh, he tested negative again. All right, I guess they do.
I don't know if that's true. I'm just saying that could be another reason why they started back up.
Okay, yeah, that could happen. I mean, that makes sense. So anyway, okay, that's not a big delay. So I for one am excited to see the Batman movie. So I didn't want it to be delayed too much. But
His costume's weird.
Yes.
he has a weird face for Batman, to be honest.
He does.
Yeah, that chin. He doesn't have a Batman chin. He does not have a Batman chin. I'm sorry.
Say that again? Not the chin part, what Derek said.
I like him.
He doesn't have a back. Oh, okay.
You like him as Bruce Wayne?
You like him as Bruce Wayne, Derek? Okay.
I'm not convinced. I'm really not
Don't
convinced.
count, man.
I feel like he can do it.
Yeah, I look at him and I'm like, you're not rich.
What?
Like the other actors, you can look at them. You can look at them as Bruce Wayne, but like, yeah, he's rich.
Except for he's an actor, so he actually is rich. So
yeah, but I'm like in the movie though, like in the vision while I'm in the zone of the movie. I don't look at this guy while he's playing Bruce Wayne and be like, yeah, he's rich.
Right, like compared to
that
that, when you watch Tony Stark. Like Tony Stark comes on the scene, you know he the richest guy in the room. Like Bruce Wayne is supposed to have that aura about him.
I guess. Right.
Yes, that's his whole status.
Well, you don't think Robert Pattinson can pull it off?
I'm not seeing it in the trailer.
They only showed him as Batman in the trailer.
Let alone pull it off.
Enough. I don't see it.
All right.
I think he can.
I feel like he's a decent actor, and I feel like he can do the part. I don't think he looks like Batman, but I feel like he can do the part well.
That's my only
That chin, man. It's that chin.
I gotta agree with
something about that chin.
What's the chin?
Yeah, that chin is just not. That's not a Batman chin. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, nobody has the
cartoon. That's not a Batman chin.
Nobody has that 1990s Batman the Animated Series chin, okay?
Rectangle, but you square.
Like, that is a literal rectangle. Like,
the other actors came closer to it.
Yes. Like, okay, there's no rectangle jaw people out there, but there's some people with some square jaws. Just give me one of them.
Yeah.
Maybe they couldn't act the part.
Yeah.
All right. He's got an equilateral triangle as a chin.
Yes, exactly. He got an equilateral triangle.
All right. The last bit of news that I had, WandaVision is confirmed to come out at the end of 2020, which I've been looking forward to this series. We haven't heard any news about Falcon and Winter Soldier, unfortunately. But, yeah, I'm excited for some more Marvel TV shows, so I'm down for that.
Only thing I heard about Falcon and the Winter Soldier is that it is going to be 2021. So it's definitely coming out after Wanda and whatever it's called.
Spring 2021?
I didn't say that. I said 2021. I don't know when.
For spring. They filmed most of it. I don't know why they couldn't get it out.
I guess they got delayed in getting everyone back up and going.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Okay, so we're going to move on to our main topic, which was Avengers Age of Ultron. I forgot for a second. But we have one comment that I want to read. So Darkseid says, I will be honest, with everyone in the MCU, as much as I love it in all the movies, I question Phase 5. I'm not going to see Black Widow because the movie takes place before Infinity War and we already know her fate. I am hoping Phase 5 will give us some more cohesive stories. I'm not thrilled with these origin or sub-stories that stand to make little progress in the grand scheme of things. I get what you're saying.
I feel it like I'm interested for Black Widow because, he's right. It's not going to add anything. How could it? Unless that girl, Lena Yaney, whatever, the other Black Widow person, unless she's going to become a new
Yelena?
character. Yeah.
There's been a lot of theory that she's going to be like the new Black Widow. But yeah, and you know what? There's a lot of, like you were saying, there is a lot of previous stuff in Phase 4. Like, not a lot of things taking place after Endgame.
No, I think it's probably just serving to introduce to us minor characters. And then, like, have a big Phase 5, which in a way I feel like is kind of a letdown. But, I mean, it could still be good.
Yeah.
And they're like building some kind of anticipation? Or are they just kind of filling the gaps right now?
I don't know. Well, I feel like Black Widow happened the way it was because Kevin Feige wanted to do a Black Widow movie.
Well, then you should have did it in Phase 1.
Well, you had, I forgot his name, the person that was the head before Disney took over and gave the reins completely to Kevin Feige. He didn't want to do it because he was a horrible man. So he didn't want to have a female-led movie. So I think they just really wanted to get this Black Widow movie out.
So it's the movie we should have gotten 5 years ago.
Yeah. And unfortunately, they killed her in Endgame. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I have a feeling that Taskmaster is going to be a good villain in the movie, and they're going to kill him.
I hope they don't kill him. Look, keep some villains alive so you can reuse them. Keep killing all the villains, then what? But, all right. Let's move on to the main topic, which was Avengers Age of Ultron. So we just rewatched the movie, and these are our post-Endgame thoughts. First, we always start with Derek. What was the story of Age of Ultron?
Basically, Tony wanted to make the world safer without having the Avengers having to do it. So he came up with this idea to come up with Ultron that would be able to protect the Earth for them without them having to step in. But Ultron had his own plans.
Okay, cool. Nice short story there.
I can make it longer.
No,
that's okay. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Please.
So you wanted to get some vibranium.
Okay, no. What did you guys like about Age of Ultron this time around after watching it?
Honestly, I hated more the second time than I did the first time.
Oh, this was your second time watching. I can't believe you haven't watched this more than once. But okay.
I never seeing it. I never wanted to see it again, and now I remember why.
Fair. Okay. Well, so you didn't like anything?
Well, no, I feel like, okay, here's my problem. I feel like the plot was it was too much. Like, they were trying to set up too much of what was going on in the future instead of just focusing on their one story. Like, it was setting up Civil War, it was setting up Black Panther, it was setting up Infinity War, and honestly, just give us Ultron. We didn't need none of that other stuff.
Yeah, that especially wastes Ultron as a villain, because he's a huge villain. Like, you could have had a whole multi-movie arc about Ultron, because he's a huge villain. I think it is a waste in that aspect. And that's what I didn't like the movie the first time, and that's what I didn't like this time. But we were supposed to be talking about what we liked, Dawn.
I'm going to say nothing. I can't think, like, I don't think I like...
Okay.
The party scene. I thought that was nice.
Oh, the party.
Like, hanging out.
I like this scene. All right, Derek, what did you like about the movie?
I like the introduction to Scarlet Witch in the movie. I feel like how they did her and Quicksilver character could have been done better, but I do like how they introduced her. I like how they did Ultron. I just feel like it should have been done in a way where it could have been continued on, like you brought out. But I do like how Ultron came about and how they did his character. But yeah, those were the only two things.
Cool. Dan, did you like anything about the Age of Ultron?
I did actually. I definitely like the actor. I can't remember his name. The dude that played Ultron's voice. I thought
James Spader.
he was good for Ultron because of James Spader. That's him. Yeah, dude from the Blacklist, right?
Yeah.
Blacklist.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought he was a good voice for Ultron because of what Ultron was and what he was trying to accomplish. The way that he was like, his sarcasm, his humor, or whatever that he inserted in there, it was kind of like that evil humor
Mm-hmm.
that like maybe only he thinks is funny, but it also came across funny to the audience too. But like I kind of like that aspect of it. I like the fact that he was able to kind of dismantle the Avengers for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They kind of had to regroup to kind of help us to appreciate that. Ultron is like he's a formidable villain. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't just gonna be no easy. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Slap in the back of the head and he's done. And the Avengers win again. Like it ain't nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate that aspect of it, and I also like the party scene too when everybody was trying to lift the hammer. And
Okay.
Captain America tried to lift it, and then
It was
Thor's
like
face
the
was
best
like-
scene in the
I
movie.
mean,
Okay.
yeah, Thor's face was like, uh-oh. You're like, uh-oh. And he played it off when he actually couldn't actually lift the hammer all the way up. He's like, yeah, yes, because you're not worthy, and all that. But in agreement with everybody else, I definitely do wish that they could have used Ultron more. Like even after this movie was over, like maybe just make him disappear for a while. Like he's not a threat right now, but he can possibly be a threat again in the future instead of like completely getting rid of him. You know what I'm saying? I wish they could have done something like that. Like, all right, the Avengers still win this time, cool. You know what I'm saying? Good for the heroes. But Ultron can come back later on and be an even bigger threat because who knows what he's been doing while he's been, underground or, off the grid for a little bit. I wish they would have did that. That would have been cool.
I feel like Ultron still has the ability to come back, right? So, like, I would be cool if they used him again.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that how it goes in the comics all the time?
He's digital, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he never really goes away.
Right?
He always
can you
manages.
really completely get rid of that?
He's never really
I feel
gone.
like he's never really gone.
No, I don't think you can. Like you would have to have no technology at all, and I mean we use technology for everything. So
Yeah, I mean they can come up with any stupid reason to bring him back. So they could use Ultron again. I mean, I feel like you hold off on Ultron, but maybe bring him back for a movie or so. Watching this after Endgame, I appreciate all the stuff that they pulled from this movie that they called back to in the future movies. So I think it was just pretty awesome how they got that tied in.
No, I disagree. You want to know why? Because Marvel forced them to put it in the movie, which it wasn't necessary. It wasn't needed. We could have just had our own Avengers movie. I don't care, like, we're going to do Infinity War, so let's throw all this crap in here. We didn't need it.
I'm not talking about all that extra stuff. I'm talking about like the callback to Tony saying this is the end game.
Man,
or
who cares?
Or the fact that Cap can lift Thor's hammer. All right. All right, I guess it's trash.
She is ruthless, is she not? She is ruthless.
But I have to agree. The first time I saw this movie, and even now, I feel like there is way too much forced connections in this movie. I always appreciate the connections in Marvel, but I think it's better when it's subtle, and when I watch another movie, I can go, oh, hey, that's that thing from the other thing. But this was just so forced, especially in trying to set up the rest of the movies, like Dawn mentioned. It definitely took away from the movie. Plus, Joss Whedon kind of sucks. Let's be real.
Well, yeah, I wanted to say and talk about that later, but I do want to, felt like the Mind Stone was forced on us. And I'm thinking about, like, did we even need it?
For this movie, I would say it's not important. You could have made Vision without the Mind Stone.
You could have made Ultron without the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
And since it was already in Avengers, we didn't need it.
Yeah, it was fine that you already set up the Tesseract as the Space Stone. You had the Ether as the Reality Stone. You could have made anything else the Mind Stone.
Well, the Scepter's the Mind Stone, right?
Yeah, but like I feel like they just made it that because they needed some. After they decided to use Thanos as the overarching villain, they retroactively changed stuff. Like they forced Thor: The Dark World to make the Ether the Reality Stone. They retroactively made the Tesseract the Space Stone and Loki's Scepter the Mind Stone. So
what I feel is that did we? I don't think we needed an introduction to every Infinity Stone. So,
I mean, they skipped over the Soul Stone, right?
Right. So I feel like if Infinity War comes along and they say, "Oh, by the by, the scepter was the Mind Stone, I'd have been completely fine with that. And I just feel like this movie kind of forced a Mind Stone on us, and I just feel like it was another thing that we could have done without.
Yeah. I feel you on that. Yeah. I'm going to get into some of this Joss Whedon stuff. Because watching this movie after I watched Justice League, I noticed some similarities in the movie and Justice League. And look, I'm not a whole bandwagon Snyder Cut, release the Snyder Cut person, but I can see the things that Joss Whedon did in Justice League that made no sense that he did in this movie as well. Like setting up a family or some people that the heroes have to save and focusing on them for the end of the movie. The woman and her son was the exact same thing as that family in whatever country they were in Justice League. And it's kind of needless and pointless for them to even have it in the movie. Thanks, Joss Whedon. You're excellent.
Whedon was like, he wanted the movie to be more personal and more painful. Those were his words. I just feel like he didn't accomplish that. And I felt like, him introducing Hawkeye's family, now it's personal. But I'm like, no, because we didn't know he had a family and we don't care about these people.
Right. You didn't.
His a threat. Like, they didn't have any threat.
Yeah.
It would be one thing if, Ultron appeared there.
Right.
And captured his family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like if he wanted to make it
the biggest
personal.
problem he had was that tractor that didn't work.
Right.
That wasn't even real. She just faked it to get the boy in the middle.
I felt like if he wanted it personal, he should have worked more on their relationships instead of forcing like, hey, they don't really get along. Civil War's coming.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame were emotional movies for the viewers because of all the time we invested in the characters, the main characters of the movie. So if Joss Whedon wanted to make it more personal, then just make the heroes more personal in that movie. I don't feel like this movie really advanced any character's arc that much.
And he took 10 steps backwards with Black Widow. Like, I mean, can we talk about this romance in quotation marks with her and Hawk? Like, what was that trash? Was that supposed to make me feel for her? It was so, like, you took someone who, in The Winter Soldier, you're like, man, this chick is cold. Mm-hmm. Right? And then all of a sudden, you took 10 steps back where she did nothing but get kidnapped.
I guess,
and served as a lullaby for Hawk.
I guess it was to make her seem more human, maybe. But I feel like in Endgame, that made her seem really human, right? Like, just the loss that she felt, you got the human side of her rather than just a spy. You didn't need to do that relationship. Plus, I don't know. It seems forced because even though I know
weird.
What? Oh, the relationship.
Yeah, it was very weird. I feel like in a way, maybe they were just trying to signify, she's going to die. Because it's like, if her and the Hulk get together, she's probably going to die. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. So maybe it was like a precursor or something. They were trying
the Hulk has a kid in the comics. So, I mean...
No, let's not.
I mean...
No mother, right? No mother, but no mother. No mother, right?
No, it was an alien, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
I was like, I mean, I guess Hulk smash means more than one thing. All right. It was...
Nice.
All right.
We are live.
That's fine. Okay. So
if y'all can see my face right now.
We can't. Your camera's not.
I can imagine it.
You're laughing because it was funny.
I'm not at all. Not
it was funny.
It wasn't.
It was definitely funny.
It was clever though. It was clever.
Okay, so there was what else? It was some other Joss Whedon stuff. The gag of falling onto the woman's chest. Apparently, he does that in every movie. Apparently, Flash did the exact same thing to Wonder Woman, which I was like, That was a dumb gag.
I was talking about how the ending was exactly like the ending of Avengers.
Yeah, no difference. It was literally the ending of Avengers. Yeah, I feel like they should have got a different director for this.
Yeah, and I mean, I know like after this, he was like really frustrated and decided like he didn't want to continue on because I think he was scheduled to also do Infinity War, but since he backed out, we got the Russo brothers instead, and I'm kind of glad we got the Russo brothers.
Oh, the Russo
We're
brothers
better
killed
off.
it.
Yeah,
Better
Yeah.
off.
did definitely a 10 times better job.
Yeah, absolutely. We normally talk about the acting, but most of these are the same actors. So, I mean, I don't
I don't really have a lot. Only that he definitely wanted James Spader to be the voice of Ultron, which perfect choice. And he wanted Paul Bettany to be the choice for Vision, which I also think was a great choice. So besides that, there's like nothing extra.
All right. In the meantime, Dawn, you usually have your little tidbits to talk about the movie.
Yes, random movie facts. Okay. So I just mentioned how he was so exhausted after doing this. He didn't want to do Infinity War and Endgame. So good for us.
Good.
But there was a lot of issues. We do know that Marvel has a history of being super involved in their movies, and them and the directors tend to clash with each other. And this one, I feel like it was Marvel forcing a lot of things, but at the same time, I feel like Josh Whedon had some bad ideas. So like, okay, so Marvel forced the scene with Thor's vision. Like they wanted that. We did not need that.
Mhm.
So fine, he puts it in the movie, and he wanted to make it a lot longer. Marvel's like, it's way too long. So they's like, look, you can have your stupid farmhouse, or you can have a super long Thor scene. He went with the farmhouse. I felt like we could have cut out the farmhouse and Thor, and we'd have been just fine.
Wait, so it wasn't Marvel that had that dumb scene with Thor in it?
Well, they wanted the vision scene. I don't know if they chose the cave and the pool, if that was his idea to do that. I just know he wanted that scene to be longer. And apparently Loki was in it, but then they cut it out because it didn't play well with the test audience.
Of course not.
Yeah, I mean, how?
I don't know. People was like, oh, Loki's in this. It's like, no, Loki's not important to this. So they felt like it was like way too confusing and just like it's better without Loki. But yeah, Tom Hiddleston's shot scenes for this movie.
Wow. Okay. Well, that makes me think Joss Whedon sucks even more because that was a horrible scene. Maybe you know what? I know we complain about Marvel, and especially in Phase 2, they were a lot more kind of pushy towards what the directors had to do. They got better in Phase 3, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the way this was presented was probably just Joss Whedon. Like they said, hey, can you put this, and this in a movie? And the reason why this feels so forced with the additional stuff is because Joss Whedon didn't know how to do it.
That could be true. I mean, so like,
look at the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? When we watched that movie, in your facts, you said that the whole story with the stones was added after the fact because they told James Gunn that, hey, we want to introduce the Infinity Stones. It never seemed like that was forced in that movie. James Gunn put it together so well, it seemed like that's the way he originally wrote the movie the whole time, right?
But I mean, I feel like it is hard to work when they're telling you, oh, we need an introduction into Infinity War. And it's like, well, that's not what I wanted to do. I mean, I'm not saying like, I feel like his ideas, because there's some more things. His ideas was bad for the movie from the get-go, but I do think it's hard when they want to say, hey, we need you to, let people know a whole nother movie is coming, especially when we didn't need it. We didn't need this movie to be an introduction to Endgame and Infinity War.
No, we didn't. I feel like it's barely an introduction to Infinity War.
We didn't need it because you know how we know we didn't need it? Because I forgot it was even in the movie. I forgot that Thor went on a whole thing about the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, it was kind of dumb. I agree that it was dumb. I think it's both of them. We didn't need it in the movie, and Joss Whedon didn't try to integrate it into the movie well either.
We didn't need Claw. That was another one that was like, especially since they yada yada how they got to him anyways.
Yeah. Why did we have Claw? Like, that was kind of pointless. To
introduce Black Panther, to me, is like the only reason we had that. Didn't need it.
But you introduced Black Panther in Civil War.
Which is why we didn't need Claw in this movie.
But Claw is not technically a Black Panther villain, though.
He is.
Yeah, he is.
I thought
No, he is, because he becomes that sound thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like the necklace, he got that from fighting his father, T'Chaka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, Google. That's the only reason why I know that.
And then Dawn knows more than we do. No. All right, what's your other facts?
Okay, so he was also a little reluctant to move on because of the amount of characters that would need to be in Infinity War. He felt like he was overwhelmed with the characters that were in this movie because he also introduced Pietro, Quicksilver, and Wanda, which is the Scarlet Witch. It felt like Infinity War would have like twice as many characters. So that was another thing that kind of made him like not want to move forward with it. And then, interesting fact, he had no idea what he wanted to do with Thanos. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad he didn't get that.
Yeah, I'm like, the more and more, I'm like, man, I'm glad he didn't do the last two movies.
Yeah.
It would have been terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it would be hard to handle that many characters, but the Russo brothers make it look easy, so.
Right.
Yep.
It's just good we got them.
Maybe it's because they're brothers and it's not just one. Two of them.
We
Two heads is better than one, they say.
That wasn't true for Captain Marvel, but whatever.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but it's Captain Marvel.
So, speaking of Captain Marvel, this was super interesting. He wanted to have Spider-Man and Captain Marvel appear in the final scene of this movie.
What, that whole new Avengers scene?
That would have been way
No,
too much.
I think there would have been some fighting, at least with Captain Marvel. There would have been. I don't know. I have no idea how this would have worked.
I feel like this is way too early to introduce Captain Marvel in the MCU. Because we didn't have, we don't have any, there was no villains powerful enough for her to fight yet.
And it's too early for Spider-Man, too. Because, where does he really fit in this movie? Where does he really fit in?
No.
He's really just a random kind of. If you think about the way the movie went, where does Spider-Man fit in? Where is he a key? That makes sense. Throw Spider-Man in there. It doesn't work.
Nah. Yeah, because why would they use
Whose idea was it to bring Spider-Man in? Yeah, whose idea was it to bring Spider-Man in? How do they know about him? And all that. How?
Yeah. Well, I guess Tony could have been watching him, but why would you get him for this?
Yeah, why would you call him? It makes no sense. So anyways, Feige was just like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. One of the things he felt like he didn't like the idea of introducing a fully developed Captain Marvel into a movie. So it felt like it would do her character a disservice if we didn't get a true introduction for her. I would agree.
I agree with that, yeah.
For instance, Captain Marvel is someone where I would be like, who is that?
Yeah, you need to... her having the name Captain Marvel alone, a lot of people probably feel is stupid. So maybe introduce her. Introduce her so the audiences can get used to her and create a fan base, and then put her in the movies. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about any of that. This movie seemed like it was too much. And although I know Spider-Man was introduced in Civil War, but at least there was a kind of reason that made sense for getting him in that movie.
I need an extra body to win this fight with my crew. You call up Spider-Man and just say, hey, we're about to go to a Eastern European country you never heard of to help us fight super robots?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. And then you bring in Spider-Man, but you don't. I don't know. I feel like there's other people you should call first before you call him.
Yeah.
Falcon.
Falcon.
Why was Falcon not did they just didn't want to pay Anthony Mackie?
Well, he was in the movie already. Anthony Mackie was in the movie. He just didn't suit up as Falcon. I'm saying
Why? Because they didn't want to pay him. That's what I'm saying. He showed up at the party, and then like everyone's fighting, and you just didn't call your boy.
I think it's because he was not an Avenger at the time, and he wasn't a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. So who was thinking to call him besides Captain America?
Why don't you call him? They brought in Rhodey. When did Rhodey join S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, but I mean, he's also military.
He worked for the government, though.
Yeah, so S.H.I.E.L.D. can call him in.
The world is getting destroyed. You call everybody.
Yeah, well.
Hey,
Since he gonna show up at the Avengers.
Call Hawkeye or Ant-Man in Infinity War.
They sure didn't. Well, no, they gave a reason for that.
They were on house arrest? Okay, yeah. Aliens are attacking the Earth, but they're on house arrest.
The world is being destroyed. But
Hey, man, you're on punishment, all right? You can't go anywhere. You're grounded.
Or was that Infinity War or Civil
No
War?
matter what's going on in the world.
No, that had to been Infinity War because they both showed up in Civil War.
They were on house arrest because of Civil War. Duh.
Yes.
All right, so that was Infinity War. I mean, that was their reason, but I guess you're right. The world's ending. Well, we can't use them. They're on punishment. They're grounded.
Right. It's like, no, you're grounded.
Come
Come on now, people.
All right, cool. What else did you have there, Dawn?
We didn't want it a more. A lot of this is about what we didn't want it, and
Well, a lot of Joss
didn't
Whedon.
happen. Yeah,
and no one cares.
basically. So he wanted a more grounded look for Ultron, like showing like gears and pistons. I guess like a real true robot or.
Why?
But Feige was like, nah, and so then he changed it, so we got what we got in the movie.
Yeah, why? It's not he's not a transformer. He's a robot.
I don't know.
I mean, iRobot didn't have robots with gears and stuff. Like, come on. Like,
I don't know.
Do you think the audience would be confused?
I don't. Hey, yo. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like I would look at what we had in the comics, right, in the cartoon, and make it something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like an android looking kind of thing, isn't
The
it?
movie was pretty close to it.
Yeah,
but that's not what
close.
he was doing. Yeah, the movie was close, but
We're learning more and more that Kevin Feige, or not Kevin Feige, Joss Whedon sucks.
I'm not gonna say that. Okay, so Age of Ultron. I know a lot of people's like, why is it called Age of Ultron when they only fought this guy for like 4 days?
That's I don't care.
But anyways, I'm like, I don't care, but it was taken from the name of a comic book series.
Yeah.
But the movie is not based off of that series. But maybe the movie should have been based off that series.
Okay, Civil War wasn't a war. Like,
yeah, but at least they were fighting each other. At least that makes sense. And it was sort of based off the comic book, right?
Yeah.
Sort of. So doesn't Captain America die at the end of that?
That's Civil War, yeah.
So, yeah, that's the only difference. They should have killed him. It'd have been better.
Yeah, I was expecting him to die in that movie.
What? In Civil War?
Yeah.
But I feel like he played kind of an important part in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he did now, but like at the time, you can't always bring him back. Let's let the dead remain dead. I know no one ever dies in comics, but still.
I mean, because is he or is he not back?
Unless you're Uncle Ben.
Movies.
If you're Uncle Ben, you die. Stay dead.
All right. So the last one I had was Captain America could, in fact, lift the hammer, but pretended not to save Thor's feelings. We didn't imply that was the case, that he could do it, but chose not to.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, the whole thing is, if you're worthy, you can lift a hammer. Not if you're kind of worthy, you can kind of lift a hammer. So if he moved it, that means he could lift it. Mm-hmm. So that was 100% true.
Of course. And then I'm like, it's Captain America. Like, of course he's worthy.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready for nitpicks?
Even though he became a fugitive later on and, kind of fled.
But he was still good at heart.
He was still worthy.
He's still worthy.
You didn't say you couldn't break any laws. It's just say you got to be worthy, whatever that definition is. All right.
Well, on Asgard, I guess worthy means something different than on Earth.
Well, nitpicks for the movie.
Okay. All right, I got. All right, the Avengers. So all that crap went down in Dark World, right? The world is getting destroyed. The Avengers don't show up, right?
Yeah.
Right. The president gets kidnapped in Iron Man 3, right? The Avengers don't show up, but they all show up to steal a stick from Hydra. Was that necessary?
I feel like you could have just. Well, maybe they say, "Oh, it's Hydra. We need the whole team for this." I don't know.
Do you? And I think that's a little weird because at the end of Iron Man 3, Tony Stark walked away for him to only show up in the next movie as Iron Man again.
Well, at the end of Iron Man 3, he said, "I am Iron Man."
But he destroyed all his suits. That dude wasn't trying to do nothing, which brings me to my next point, right? Iron Man 3, he creates all of these suits because he's obsessed with saving the world, right?
Yeah.
Then destroys it because he gave up that obsession, only for him to basically do the same thing in this movie.
Yeah, because PTSD doesn't go away in one movie. So
No, but I feel like he wouldn't do the same thing twice. It's like he learns no lessons. And then for him to create Ultron turns to him, and for him to turn around and then want to create Vision.
I don't know. I feel like it fits the character.
I feel like you don't do that same thing twice.
Like
you had an evil robot.
He didn't do the same thing twice, though.
Yeah.
He was about to make another robot.
Well, no. This time he was saying, "Hey, we'll use Jarvis. Jarvis is an evil."
Jarvis, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
So
it's literally the same thing.
That was his reasoning, though. You can see how he can reason it away. Yes, is it dumb to try and make?
I don't buy it at all.
I get.
Okay, I mean, I agree that it's stupid, but I get his reasoning.
Oh, it doesn't make any sense. He is like one of the smartest people in the world, right?
Hey, smart people can be dumb too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy it. At
Sometimes
all.
smart people are too smart for their own good. That's one flaw about being smart.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Too smart
a
for your own
robot
good.
you
It's like,
created.
okay, I can outsmart my last mistake.
But it's the same mistake. It's literally the same thing.
Because Vision turned out okay.
that's
Vision turned out okay.
Character though. That's his character though. Like
No.
that's who he is.
I feel like it fits. I mean,
It doesn't fit
it's
at
under
all.
nitpicks, so it's fine. I think it fits his character.
I think it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. He literally did the same thing 3 times. It's dumb.
All right, what's your next nitpick?
Okay. Why did Ultron kidnap Black Widow? And why did he not just kill her? In fact, why did he kill all the Avengers when he had a chance? Doesn't make any sense. He could have killed them a long time ago.
So the explanation of this is that he wanted an audience. He wanted someone to see what he was doing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he said to her.
Yeah, he told her that in the movie.
No, he could have just killed her. He could have killed them at any point in this. Like, you have an audience. You have the whole world. You have 8 billion people that's seeing what you're doing. You don't need her.
Yeah, but that's like regular movie nitpick.
They're not important though. They're
Because,
just people in the world.
Every
It's
movie
just
has
dumb.
a thing that can happen that's like, well, then there wouldn't be a movie after the fact. So
I don't like it. But even, I don't know, even in the beginning when Wanda first shows up and she used her spooky powers on them and then she just walks away. What's the point?
I thought that was dumb. Okay, yeah, Wanda. She knocks Captain America down some stairs, walks away, and then that was it. It's like, what was the point of that? She didn't even save Strucker because Captain America just walked back up the stairs and knocked out Strucker. So it was pointless.
And why does Quicksilver keep disappearing?
Yeah,
Like he was in the force and then he disappeared.
Quicksilver knocked over Hawkeye and Captain America, and that was it.
And then why do they keep showing up in random places? Like, how did they get on the train?
He ran there?
I imagine he ran. Yeah, I imagine he ran there. She probably floated.
Whatever. It's dumb. It's dumb.
Yes,
All right.
indeed. That was
Well, they weren't supposed to be used. They weren't really ready. They weren't really ready for it. So maybe they were, they were making some mistakes, little rookie mistakes. Like, oh man, you probably should have did more to Captain America. Like, oh, I'll remember that for next time. And then Quicksilver, he was like, oh, you probably should have knocked over more than just 2 of them. They're like, oh, okay, I'll remember that for next time. Because they weren't ready. they inexperienced.
Okay. Is that what we're going to call it? An experience?
Yeah, 'cause it's like when you go out there on the football field and you terribly execute the plan that you had all along, the coach gets back there in the locker room and yells at you. So I think they got back to the base and everybody they got yelled at.
I'm just gonna call it a failure. Is what it is.
Well, it probably
I mean,
was.
yeah, it's that. But they got yelled at. But the point is they got yelled at. So they got in trouble for it.
What else did you have, Dawn?
All right. This is my last nitpick. Okay. So they finally defeat, I'm going to put defeat in quotation marks, Ultron by Iron Man, Thor, and Vision all shooting him with lasers at the same time. My thing is, don't we try that first? Not only that, when it worked, why did you stop shooting him for him to get away, then hop in a plane, and then kill Quicksilver? Yeah. Like, why would he's a robot? You don't finish him?
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't make sense. Plus, I just thought you just said that, and they did this, and it worked with him having a vibranium body. Meaning, they probably could have done this to Ultron before, like when they were fighting him on the boat. They probably could have beat him at that point.
Okay, at the party, right? We chilling, and then a robot walks into my house, and y'all just like, why are we listening to this dude right now? Like, what is going on?
And after he sent the other Iron Man robots at them, and they blow them up and destroy them.
They stopped and
listened to him. And let him continue talking.
Like, it's going on right now. I just no.
All right. Best quotes then for the movie?
I got nothing. You guys.
Really? I like the part. I can't physically throw up in my mouth.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Most of the quotes come from Ultron. So,
yeah. I can't think of any off the top of my head though. Nothing stands out.
It was one in the beginning that I said yesterday, and I was like, "That was a good quote."
In the beginning of the movie,
like the first battle.
Yeah,
it was first fight attacking that base, getting the stick.
Yeah.
Oh, when he was just like, they're getting through our defenses. Stop them. And it was like, sir, it's the Avengers.
Yeah. I gotcha. That's good. I don't know if it's quote worthy though.
Not quote worthy.
All right. I though physically.
Captain America said, "I don't think anybody has to break anything," and then Ultron said, "Well, you've never made an omelet."
And then Iron Man said, "He beat me by 2 seconds."
Yeah.
That was funny. I can't physically throw up in my mouth, but I did like that line. I guess that's the best quote, which doesn't bode well for Avengers Age of Ultron.
It does not.
Is it time to rate the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
I already know what Don's gonna say.
So, since this is our first time live, I think we should explain our rating system. So, we have a 5-tier rating system, which starts at the top, best movie ever. Then I pay for that. It's the next best. Middle of the road is watch while folding clothes. And then our last 2 rankings is, what was the?
Kill Me Now?
Pure torture.
No, it was pure torture and then kill me first before I watched the movie. It's the absolute bottom of the barrel. What would you guys rank this movie?
Am I first?
Go ahead, Dawn. Yes, go ahead.
Pure torture.
Pure torture for Dawn. I had a feeling.
Oh, really? That's actually better than I thought she was going to say. Okay.
Oh, you thought she would have died before she watches it again?
Yeah, because she tore this movie so many new ones.
It deserved it. The more I thought about it, the angrier it made me.
Okay. Dan, what are you ranking?
Yeah, probably pure torture.
All right. Good job, Dan.
Thank you.
Well, Dan,
watch while folding clothes.
Ugh.
I'm going to say watch while folding clothes as well. That was the ranking I had in mind for it. So, yeah, we're at a dead tie. So, somewhere between watch while folding clothes and pure torture?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the ranking
Apparently.
for
Watch while being tortured.
There you go.
Watch while being tortured.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, okay. Well, that's our ranking of Age of Ultron. What do you guys think of the movie? You can let us know in the comments or wherever you are watching or listening to the podcast. With that being said, if you want to start a podcast of your own, you can. And we use Buzzsprout to host our podcast. And it is hands down the best way to run a podcast. And I don't have the thing up. So this is the best way to launch and promote and track your podcast. Your show can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more within minutes of finishing your recording. So if you're looking to start a podcast, check out our affiliate link and you can sign up yourself. With that being said, that's about all I had for today's episode. Did anyone else want to mention anything?
I have one last quote.
Okay.
You get hurt them back. You get killed, walk it off.
Tell that to Quicksilver.
Yeah, he didn't really walk that off, did he? He didn't walk that off.
That is not cool. That's not cool.
He didn't run it off.
He did not walk it. He ain't run it off or walk it.
Well, okay, so Quicksilver had to die due to a Fox contract or whatever, so that's why he died in the movie. It was just dumb the way he died. But with that being said, I guess that is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening, guys. If you want to reach out to us, we are at Facebook. It's facebook.com/3D Rivals. You can email us on Gmail. It's 3drivals@gmail.com. And you can also tweet at us on Twitter. It is at 3_rivals. So, thank you so much for listening again, and peace out.